Alright, so good day everyone. So welcome to Physical Chemistry 1. So at first glance, physical chemistry may sound just like another chemistry subject, right? But for chemical engineers, this course is something more important kasi it explains why engineering calculations actually work. So every time a chemical engineer designs a process, example, kung nagde-design ka ng reactor, so, may question kapag ka nag-design ka, does this actually work, di ba? So, is this process possible or how efficiently it can be done? Physical chemistry can help you answer that because it helps you on the calculations. Okay? And physical chemistry, it provides the scientific foundation for answering that question. So in this course, we will focus on how matter and energy behave at a molecular level. Okay, so we will study why gas expands, bakit nagko-contract ang gas din, okay, bakit ang liquids ay nag-evaporate, okay, and why mixtures separate, and how energy flows in a chemical system. These ideas may seem abstract at first, but directly support what you will do later in thermodynamics, separation processes, and chemical reaction engineering. Okay, so for example, when ethanol is separated from water in a distillation column, physical chemistry explains why those vapor forms. Okay, and bakit nag-iiba din ang change composition and bakit pa naging possible ang separation ng ethanol sa water. Okay, so when you calculate energy requirements for a process, physical chemistry tells you where that energy comes from and where it goes. Okay, and this subject, physical chemistry, can be a foundation for your next courses like thermodynamics, separation processes, and chemical reaction engineering, because the contents of this course, it contains the first, second, and third laws of thermodynamics and also the zeroth law. And under the first law of thermodynamics, we'll be talking about uh, energy leaving and energy absorbed by the system, like that. Okay, you can answer, physical chemistry can answer where energies come from and where energies will dissipate. Okay, that's physical chemistry for you. So I hope by the end of this course, um, you should be able to explain physically or explain nyo kung anong nangyayari ang nagaganap sa system physically and the ability to connect theory with real processes. Okay, so that's what distinguishes a chemical engineer from someone who just simply knows formulas. Okay, dapat alam mo kung saan galing mga formulas mo. Okay, alam mo kung bakit ganun ang formula mo. Right? So this is also a training ground for you sa chemical thermodynamics niyo na more on energy balance noon. Okay? So naranasan niyo na yung material balance from your chemical engineering calculations, right? Ang next is energy balance naman. Okay? Uh, because of this course, Physical Chemistry 1, magkakaroon kayo ng idea kung paano nangyayari ang energy balance. Although hindi siya masyadong natakal dito kasi this is just preparatory course for thermodynamics. Okay? So, let's begin with the definition of physical chemistry. Okay? So based on the definition by Samuel Maron and Jerome Lando, physical chemistry is the area of chemistry which concerns itself with the study of physical properties and structure of matter, with the laws of chemical interaction and with the theories governing these. Okay? So these are the factors that is involved in physical chemistry. So actually there are three. course, we have chemistry. Okay, chemistry, it is the study of matter and the changes it undergoes. So it's just limited to the the changes. Okay, and it does not explain deeply, okay, kung ano ba ang nangyayari sa isang process. So, for example, for a cup of water, no? So physical chemistry can explain or answer the questions: what happens when it boils, what happens when it freezes, and how do these processes occur? And when you dissolve a solid in water, how does the process take place? And paano nangyari na yung bonds ay mag-change on a molecular level? The chemistry, general chemistry, does not answer those kind of questions. It's just the macro level. Okay? Sa physical chemistry, we dig deeper on a molecular level. Okay? But of course, it is supported by physics also. Physics is the understanding of energy, since we deal with energy here sa physical chemistry. And physics, it deals with energy and forces interacting on the objects. Together with the chemistry, you can know how do molecules interact, and example, when dissolving a solid into a solution, paano nag-interact yung yung molecule ng solid dun sa solvent. Okay? And it might be chemical in nature, but we need to apply physics in order to explain the phenomenon. Okay? And it also involves mathematics, since mathematics is used to represent the concepts. Okay? Uh, for example, how do these three subjects um, connect physical chemistry? For example, if we have phase change can be explained by chemistry. Okay, and when you describe the process in a physical manner, you need physics and thermodynamics. And of course, to represent your idea through your knowledge dun sa phase change and through describing the process in a physical manner, you need to derive the mathematical equations, and it represents your idea, the mathematical equation. So that's how these three are interdependent with each other. So that's why meron tayong physical chemistry, because of chemistry, physics, and mathematics. Okay? So what other subjects can be related to physical chemistry? We have, of course, thermodynamics. Nasabi ko na to. Thermodynamics ang pinakauna, since we study the laws of thermodynamics and their applications in chemical systems. Okay, and solution chemistry, particularly thermochem. Okay, and in quantum mechanics and structure, we study the uh, we have the principles. For example, the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. It gives rise to our understanding of the structure ng atoms in a molecular level. And we also have chemical kinetics, na-mention ko kanina, yung chemical reaction engineering. So this chemical kinetics can explain the concept of kinetics, or how fast a certain process or reaction takes place. So more likely, we talk about rates of reaction. Gaano kabilis maubos ang reactant mo to form the product. Ganun, okay? And of course, specific rate constant, the rate loss, order of reactions, and what will be the relationship of the rate of reaction versus the temperature. Okay? So, kapag tinaasan mo ang temperature, bibilis ba ang reaction or babagal? Okay? So, ganun. It is related to physical chemistry also. Okay, so unahin natin ang gases. First, what is gas? So gas is a phase of matter where atoms of a substance are in motion and fill their container. Since we are talking about its physical property and the laws that govern this, we should identify if your gas follows the ideality or kung gaano ba siya katotoo, 'di ba? So is this gas real or ideal, right? So first, we dig deep on the ideal gas. So it is anchored on the kinetic theory. Kinetic theory explains many of the properties of matter. It is especially concerned with the relationship between heat and motion. So according to KMT, the temperature of a substance is the measurement of the average kinetic energy of the molecules that make up the substance. So gases are composed of molecules which are in very rapid motion. So yung nakikita nyo dito na motion ng gas, hindi pa yan yung totoong motion nila when we assume the kinetic theory. Yung motion ng particles na yan, sobrang bilis pa kaysa dito. Okay? The the amount of space between the individual molecules are so great that we can say the volume occupied by the molecules themselves is negligible. So parang sinasabi dito that we are assuming that the molecules of a gas is assumed to be point particles or yung sobrang liliit, that in the behavior of ideal gas or ideality, we neglect its volume. Wala daw siyang volume. Okay? And also, according to the average kinetic energy of the molecule, it is also proportional to the Kelvin or absolute temperature. Also, at a given temperature, all gases have the same average kinetic energy. And the molecules are so far apart and are moving so rapidly that the forces of attraction between them are negligible. So parang most likely yung sinasabi dito are assumptions, okay? Yung mga particles na yan, sabi na sobrang lalayo nila, 'di ba? So tingnan natin dito. For example, nilabas natin yan sa mas malaki, okay? And sinabi natin na sobrang lalayo nila and sobrang bibilis ng galaw nila na kahit magdikit pa silang dalawa, hindi sila mag-a-attract. Okay? So, sa sobrang bilis nila, na-overcome yung forces of attraction. So, that's kinetic energy. That's kinetic theory. So, all these assumptions are only absolutely true for ideal gases. You cannot say that these assumptions here are for real gases. Ibang usapan kapag real gases, guys. Okay? And since ideal yan, of course, may deviation yan sa totoong nangyayari. We cannot say na yung behavior ng gas mo, for example, oxygen gas in a certain container, ay nag-a-act ng assumptions na 1, 2, 3 na ito. Okay? So we only assume the ideality of the gas for simplicity minsan and for understanding their behavior, okay, and for a standard. For example, you want to really calculate the volume that it occupies in a system. The ideal gas, it neglects the particles, right? The molecules itself. But in real gases, it is accounted. Pero hindi siya masyadong nalalayo dun sa answer mo sa ideal gas. It can only be used for estimations. It also be used for standards. Parang ganun. Okay? Alright. Alright, so mas isa-isahin pa natin yung kinetic molecular theory. Okay, so first, a gas consists of extremely small discrete particles. Yun yung sinasabi ko that the volume of the particles of the molecules are negligible kasi sinasabi natin na point particles lang sila. Okay, so it does not consume any dumi volume sa container mo. Okay, so that's the first assumption for the kinetic molecular theory. For the second, we have gas molecules are in random motion with high velocities. Yan sinasabi ko, sobrang high velocities nila. And it can also change direction randomly. Okay? And for the third, gas molecules can move freely independent of each other. So walang interaction between the molecules. So it is assumed that the van der Waals attraction of forces between them does not exist. So that is for kinetic molecular theory. So please isipin nyo, this is for ideal gases only. Okay? And number 4, we have all collisions are perfectly elastic. Ano ibig sabihin? There is no loss in kinetic energy of a molecule during collision. So kapag nagko-collide silang dalawa, if two molecules collide, okay, here and here, during collision, kahit pa mag-collide silang dalawa, walang nalolos na kinetic energy. Kung ano yung energy niya dito or velocity niya sa unang time, sa initial, kahit pa nag-collide sila, pareho lang din ng energy dito kapag tapos na yung collision. Okay? So, actually, yung gas particles na sobrang bibilis ang velocity na tumatama sa container mo, that causes pressure. So, yun yung sinasabi na natin na pressure kasi yung molecules ng gases sobrang bibilis at tumatama sa containers, sa walls ng container, it causes the pressure. Okay? And number 6, we have already I've already mentioned this. The average kinetic energy of gases is directly proportional to the absolute temperature in terms of Kelvin. Okay. So what are the important variables in discussing the ideal gases? First, of course, we have pressure. Ito na yung sinasabi ko. It is the force of the gases that exert on its container on how much of the particles are hitting the sides. So kung how much of the particles that hits the side of that causes their pressure. Okay? Of course, we have temperature. Temperature, it is the amount of heat energy available to be transferred into kinetic energy of motion. Okay? So, sinasabi na natin dito how temperature affects the molecules. Okay? So, the higher the temperature, the faster the particles move. So, kung tataasan natin ang temperature, mas bibilis ang galaw ng mga particles natin sa container. Okay? We also have volume. Of course, if we are to study something, we need to have a definite volume, right? So we need to contain it. So how big is the container where the gases is placed? And of course, the moles, how much of the particles are present in the container. So these are the variables that we'll be discussing in the ideal gases. Okay, so let's dig deep, okay, into ideal gas, and we have the ideal gas laws. First is the Boyle's law. It is formulated or discovered by Robert Boyle. So he said that at constant temperature, the volume of a fixed mass of gas is inversely proportional to its pressure. Sinasabi dito yung volume daw is inversely proportional sa pressure. So, 1 over P. So, to remove the proportionality, we need to introduce a proportionality constant K. So, that's why P times V is equal to K. K is constant. So, ibig sabihin, at constant temperature daw, ang volume mo, kapag itataas mo yung volume mo, bumababa ang pressure mo. O kung tinataas mo yung pressure mo naman, bumababa ang volume mo. So, magkabaliktad silang dalawa. So, when you assume a two-state scenario, so P1 and the V1, okay? P1, V1, the product of the P1 and V1 is always equal to, P2 V2. Okay, so if we are to understand these isotherms, okay, so yung x-axis natin is the volume, and then the y-axis is pressure. So as you can see at temperature 1 here, okay, temperature 1 natin dito. So habang binababa ko ang pressure, tumataas naman ang value ng volume mo, di ba? And same is true pa din kahit pa magsimula tayo sa mas mataas na volume, okay? And then habang binababa ko ang pressure, okay, mas tataas naman ang volume. Or otherwise, habang binababaan ko ang volume, okay, kasi 0 ito eh. So habang binababaan ko ng ganyan, tumataas naman ang pressure. Okay? So the volume and the pressure product is always constant here. Okay? Okay, so for more visualization here, so kapag meron kang piston and cylinder, kapag naglagay ka ng weight dito, and weight, it is a pressure, right? And kapag naglagay ka ng weight dito, okay, bababa ang volume pero tataas ang pressure at constant temperature, ha? So, tingnan nyo nangyayari kapag nagtatanggal siya, tumataas ang volume, pero bumababa ang pressure. Okay? Kapag nilalagay siya dito, tumataas ang pressure, pero bumababa yung volume, lumiliit siya. And as you can also see, yung molecules, it is compressed, mas malalapit silang molecules. It causes the molecules to have higher yung kanilang velocity. That's why mas tumataas yung pressure. Okay? So let's have an example on how to solve a problem that involves the Boyle's law. Okay? So a sample of hydrogen gas has a volume of 5 liters and a pressure of 1 atm. Okay, so what is the new pressure if the volume is decreased to 2 liters at a constant temperature? So first, we need to write the given and then the required. Given sa atin, yung sample of gas daw ay may initial na volume na 5 liters and subjected to a pressure of 1 atm. Okay, so ang tinatanong sa atin, ano daw ang pressure kapag ang volume ay na-decrease into 2 liters? So using the Boyle's law at constant temperature, we have P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Okay, so substituting what we already know, we have P1 which is 1 atm and V1 which is 5 liters. That's equal to P2, yan yung hinahanap natin, and V2 which is 2 liters. Okay, so to answer that, we have 2.5 atm. So titingnan ninyo, bumaba yung volume, right? And it is from 5 liters to 2 liters, no? So dapat, since kung bumaba yung volume mo, okay, kailangan din tataas yung pressure, 'di ba? Kasi inversely proportional sila. So from 1 atm naging 2.5 atm. So that is the Boyle's law naman. Okay? Okay, so second ideal gas law, we have the Charles law. So by Jacques Charles. Okay, so at constant pressure naman siya, the volume of a fixed mass of gas is directly proportional to the Kelvin temperature or absolute temperature. So constant pressure siya, so hindi mo iisipin ang pressure. So volume is directly proportional to the temperature. So to remove the proportionality, we introduce a proportionality constant K. So V over T is equal to K. Okay? So for any system, yung V over T is constant. So that's why kapag may dalawang state ka, state 1 and state 2, ang state 1 mo ay yung initial and the state 2 is your final. Okay? Yung volume and temperature mo sa final and initial, when you divide it by their corresponding temperatures, okay, it is equal. So that's why V1 over T1 is equal to V2 over T2. So if we take a look at this as your volume in y-axis mo and temperature as your x-axis, as you increase your volume, we also increase the temperature. Okay? And parang ang slope niya ay just a straight line. Ang y1 ang kanyang slope. Okay? So in these isotherms, yung P1 mo at higher, of course, at higher temperature. Okay, and higher volume. Pag ganyan. Okay? And P2 and then P3. Alright? Yan. Alright, so as you increase your pressure here, yung temperature mo pa din and then the volume ay pareho pa din ang relationship nila. Okay? So, constant pressure na dito. So, as you can see here, kapag bababaan mo ang temperature mo, okay, kapag bumababa, pansin nyo, pag 250 siya, yung pressure mo, yung volume mo ay lumiliit. Okay? Kapag tinataasan mo ang temperature, yung volume mo ay lumalaki. Okay? So, lumalaki. Alright? So, at constant pressure yan. So, let's try to solve a problem that involves the Charles law. Alright, so this is the example for the Charles law. A 2-liter sample of gas is cooled from 298 Kelvin to 278 Kelvin at constant pressure. What is the new volume of the gas? Okay? So, as usual, sulat natin yung given. V1 is 2 liters. V2 is, T1 is 298 Kelvin. And T2 ay 278. So, hinahanap sa atin ang volume 2. Okay, so we use the Charles law. V1 over T1 is equal to V2 over T2. So, we already know the V1 and T1. T2 naman ang hanapin natin. So, guys, in here, laging ang temperature ay in terms of absolute scale. So, ibig sabihin, kung degrees Celsius yan, kailangan nyo siyang i-convert into Kelvin. Okay? Or, you can use your degree Rankine naman for the English. Okay? So, dapat lagi yan. Hindi nyo pwedeng gamitin ang degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit dito sa calculation mo. You need to use absolute scale. Absolute temperature scale. Okay, so answering this, we have V2 is equal to 1.866 liters. You can pause this video if you want. You can calculate on your own and check nyo kung tama ito. Okay? Alright, so let's move on to the next ideal gas law. We have the Gay-Lussac's law. Okay? So sa Gay-Lussac's law naman, we have Joseph Gay-Lussac. So, at constant volume naman ito. At constant volume, the pressure of a fixed mass of gas is directly proportional to the temperature, Kelvin temperature or absolute temperature. So, directly proportional daw. So, to remove the proportionality constant, we need to introduce a proportionality constant K. So, P over T is proportional, or P over K is constant. So again, at state 1, we can say that this is the initial state of the gas, okay, given na constant ang volume mo, and going into state 2 or final, okay, the corresponding pressure and the temperatures, okay, of these states. So pressure over temperature dito is also equal to the pressure and temperature dito sa state 2 mo. So that's why na-produce itong equation natin na P1 over T1 is equal to P2 over T2. Okay? So if we are to look at this, okay, at constant volume, since titingnan mo kahit bababaan mo ang volume, okay, pareho pa din ang relationship ng pressure and temperature. As you increase the pressure, we also increase the temperature. So, nag-increase sila. So, they are proportional. Kapag tumataas ang pressure mo, tumataas din ang temperature. Okay? Okay, so as you can see here guys, before and after scenario, wala pang heat dito eh. Wala pang nai-introduce na heat. So if you increase the heat or introduce a heat, the pressure also increases. Kasi mas bibilis yung galaw ng mga particles mo. Pag tinataasan mo ang temperature, tumataas din yung velocity nito na nagkukos ng higher pressure. Okay, so that is Gay-Lussac's law naman. Okay, so let's try to solve problem associating the Gay-Lussac's law. Alright, so in an industrial process, nitrogen is heated to 500 Kelvin in a vessel of constant volume. So if it enters a vessel of 100 atm and 300 Kelvin, what pressure would it exert at a working temperature if it behaved as a perfect gas? Okay, so given sa atin ay temperature 2, which is 500 K, the initial condition of the gas here is P1 100 atm, T1 is 300 Kelvin. Okay? So hinahanap sa atin ay pressure. So using the formula for the Gay-Lussac's law, so substituting everything, we have P2 is equal to 166.67 atm. So, kapag nag-solve kayo ng ganito, is my answer correct? Diba? Titingnan ninyo, yung pressure mo from 100 atm to 1.66 atm. So, ibig sabihin, tumaas ang pressure. Ang nangyari din sa temperature ay tumaas din from 300 to 500. So, that's Gay-Lussac's law. Okay? Alright, so let's move on to the combined gas law naman. Okay? So if we combined the gas laws, alright, for a fixed mass of gas, the volume is directly proportional to the temperature and inversely proportional to the pressure. So if we are given the volume, okay, it is directly proportional to the temperature but inversely proportional to the pressure. Okay, so to remove the proportionality here, we need to introduce a proportionality constant. Now, P times V over T is constant. So, if we have state 1 and state 2 ng gas, yung P1 V1 over T1 is equal to P2 V2 over T2. Okay, so that's the combined gas law. So, if we are to apply that to a problem, for example, 25.8 liters of gas has a pressure of 690 torr and a temperature of 17 degrees Celsius. So what will be the volume if the pressure is changed to 1.85 atm and the temperature to 345 Kelvin? So first, of course, we need to write the given. Okay, given sa atin is V1 25.8 liters. And then the pressure, titingnan natin yung pressure, magkaiba yung unit. So yung isang unit ay in terms of torr, isa naman ay in terms of atm. So kailangan nyo i-convert yung isa sa kanila to have a consistent na unit. Hindi pwedeng agad-agad yung gamitin kapag hindi pareho ang unit nila. So to convert your torr into ATM, we have the conversion factor. 1 ATM is equal to 360 torr. Okay, so converted na yan, naging ATM. And again, yung temperature natin sa perfect gas law, okay, we need to convert your degree Celsius into Kelvin kasi we always follow the absolute temperature, which is Kelvin and degree Rankine. Okay, so to convert that, you just add 273.15 to have this 290.15 Kelvin. Okay, now you have a consistent na units, so we can now solve for V2. Okay? Okay. So we have this formula from the combined gas law, substituting everything. So you can pause the video, you can try to solve it. So yung answer natin ay 15.057 liters. So this is now our final answer. Okay? Okay, so let's continue. We have another ideal gas law here, the Avogadro's law naman by Amadeo Avogadro. So in here, at constant pressure and temperature, the amount of gas in moles is directly proportional to the volume. So volume is proportional to the number of moles. Okay, so V over N is constant. Now, if we have state 1 and state 2 of the gas at ideal condition, the V1 over N1 is equal to V2 over N2 here. So if we have this relationship, volume versus your moles, as you increase the number of your gas, you also increase the volume. Okay? So, parang common sense naman to. Kapag naglagay ka ng mas marami, of course, mas marami yung volume. Right? Okay. So let's try to solve a problem associating the Avogadro's law. So a simple helium gas with a mass of 18 grams occupies 1.6 liters at a particular temperature and pressure. What mass of oxygen would occupy 1.6 liters at the same temperature and pressure? Okay, so you are given in terms of grams here. You need to convert it in terms of moles using the atomic mass of the helium here, right? So 18 grams converted into moles, we have 4.5 moles of helium. So basically, ginamit lang natin yung moles, atomic mass ng helium dito. Okay? Given sa atin ang volume ng He and volume ng O2, hinahanap sa atin ang volume ng O2. Okay? Right, so knowing everything here, we have N is equal to 4.5 moles of oxygen. Okay? And of course, ang hinahanap kasi sa atin, what mass of oxygen. Now, this is in terms of moles. You need to convert it into grams using, of course, using din yung molecular mass ng oxygen molecule. Okay, so 32 grams. So we have 144 grams for our answer here. Okay? Yan.